carers. My name's Ben Starkey and I'm Assistant Principal here at Chobham Academy. Part of my role at Chobham Academy is to oversee the tutor programme and the PSHE that goes on within the academy. The purpose of this presentation today is to update parents on the new RSE requirements. So this is a draft copy of the parents consultation. It's currently in place at school, however we are consulting parents on how this is delivered, the content, so that we can make changes ready for the final launch in April 2021 when it comes into full effect. At this point, I'd like to direct you to some of the other documents that you need to access all the information that's needed. First is the parental consultation document that works alongside this presentation. You'd also need to look at the PSHE curriculum statement to see where it fits in within the bigger picture. And then finally, the DFE expectations on RSE and secondary education establishments. Throughout this presentation you won't get to see me, however I am going to put a speaker icon that will explain each slide in a little bit more detail. Then off the back of that, do feel free to email me any questions or comments that you might make with regards to our planned curriculum. Thank you. So there are four main objectives of this presentation and the consultation as a whole. Firstly is to explain the changes to the requirements for RSE coming in from April 2021. Secondly is to explain how we currently teach RSE and how it's delivered throughout the school. We also want to explain the content of the curriculum. And then finally, and most importantly for me, is to get your views on how well this curriculum works so that we can feed that going forward from April. So what are the new RSE requirements? We must now provide the following to the pupils: education on relationships and education on health. We also have to provide sex education to pupils in the secondary phase. Now there's three documents that I mentioned earlier that you need to be aware of. Firstly, it's the DFE RSE expectations for secondary schools. So that outlines what we have to deliver. It doesn't say how we have to deliver it, but tells us what we need to deliver as a minimum. There's also the parental consultation Word document that works alongside this this PowerPoint, and then finally the PSHE curriculum statement that I directed you to. Now all of these can be found on the school website alongside this presentation, so please do read all so you understand where it fits in with regards to the bigger picture. So the main legislation change that's taken place is that there's no longer the legal right to withdraw from relationship education or health education as there was previously. Parents can still withdraw from sex education outside what is taught in the science curriculum up until 3 terms before the child is 16 years of age. At this point the child can withdraw themselves or decide to have lessons themselves. I'll go into a little bit more detail shortly regarding the difference between relationships education, health education and sex education. So with regards to staff training, I myself have been on a number of borough consultation events which covers everything from curriculum to parent views and faith perspectives. This was ongoing for around 18 months, ranging from face-to-face before we went into lockdown, then online after that, to make sure that we've got a curriculum in place that's suitable for students within our school and within our borough. All staff underwent PSHE training in September upon return to school, and the head of years and a number of tutors have embarked on a number of training modules. These include online relationships and media, intimacy and sexual relationships, respectful relationships, well-being, the adolescent body and first aid. All of these modules have helped inform our planning throughout to make sure that what we are delivering is suitable for all students. So as mentioned previously, we'll look at the difference between relationships and health education and sex education. So relationship education covers family and close and positive relationships, caring friendships, online relationships and being safe. In secondary schools, our curriculum builds on what students have learned at primary school, and that goes all the way through from year 7 through to 11. It's really important that we build on what students have previously learned and to make sure it's age appropriate. Lessons will be evidence-based, they will be based upon age, and they will be culturally appropriate and based in the law and sensitive to the needs of the pupils. Intimate and sexual relationships is included within sexual health, so that comes under relationships. Health education covers physical well-being, mental health, ourselves, growing and change and keeping safe. However, relationship and health education do generally work alongside each other in tandem. So as discussed, all secondary schools must teach sex education that is outside of national curriculum science, but parents and carers can withdraw their children from sex education. So for example, the reproduction system is taught within science, not within our RSE PSHE lessons. Sex education at Chobham is taught by trained staff in an age appropriate and sensitive way that takes into account regard to the law and cultural and a culture, the mixed culture that's within our school. We also include outside agencies within our delivery to make sure the right message is being delivered. We believe the teaching of sex education alongside relationship education will help ready our students for life in a 21st century Britain. And please rest assured that there isn't anything that's delivered that we wouldn't want our own children learning. So let's help you understand how we deliver PSHE and in particular RSE. So it's delivered through three main ways. Firstly, the tutor program. So every week our students will have a 30-minute session on PSHE. So that takes alongside the three themes of health and well-being, relationships and living in the wider world. They also have one session a week on current affairs. So something that's very topical but links to the PSHE program as outlined by the PSHE Association. We deliver RSE through our innovation days, which is run by our safeguarding lead. And we also deliver elements of relationships through the assembly program. So what we have here is our tutor time long-term plan for PSHE with RSE highlighted in yellow. You'll see that there's the equivalent of one whole term related to relationships. However, as mentioned earlier, this does link in with a lot of the work that's being done in health and well-being. You'll see that as the years progress, it does build on what has been learned in the previous year. Year 10 has a slightly different order due to making sure our students are well prepped for exams at the end of year 10. You'll see here our Innovation Day objectives, and as mentioned previously, we look to build upon each year to make sure we're covering as much relevant content as possible. You'll see I put this into a kind of pyramid to show you how it's built upon. I'm not going to go through each objective, I'll allow you to read that, but that will allow you to see how we are building every single year up our students' knowledge to make sure they have a rounded education on RSE. You'll see here the third way that relationships is delivered through our assembly program. This is a little bit more generic than it would be in lessons and tends to take on a focus of the bigger picture as such. This is put together by Miss Haig, and this will change slightly each year so that we're not repeating information to the students. Please do take the time to read through our themes and the content. So I felt it really important to put this graph in to show parents and carers what exactly our year 10 students want. This was a NEWHAM survey carried out by Joe Sell, who conducted a lot of the training that I was on over the last year and a half. You'll see from the graph below, the blue represents a desired source and the orange colour represents the actual source of where students are getting their information from. Now the majority of students, 50%, over 50%, wanted the information from school. However, across NEWHAM, it's only 30% of students that are getting that information from school. Then if we look further down, the friends part, the desired source of some students for friends is around 5 or 6%. However, it's currently at around 15%. And a lot of that information that will be given by friends is probably wrong. And that's the same sort of numbers for the media and internet as well. So some really interesting information there. Some more information about this, along with another survey that was carried out, can be found in the consultation document that I mentioned previous, which is on the website. So based on the information you've been given here, alongside those other three documents, I'm really interested to know what your thoughts are. So what are your thoughts on the current curriculum for RSE and personal, social, health and economic, our PSHE education, and do you think the curriculum meets your child's needs? What do we do well and what could we do better? Please do speak to your child about that. Is there anything you feel we're not covering that you think we need to address? Is there something we could cover more or less? Or what do you think about the way we are currently delivering RSE to pupils? As a parent, do you feel like you need more information or guidance on specific topics? As I said previously, having children myself, I'm confident to say there isn't anything that we've included within our RSE curriculum that I wouldn't want my own children to know. So what's going to happen over the next few months? So if you have any questions or any comments that you'd like to make, please do contact me on the email address there, b.starkey@chobhamacademy.org.uk. We're also getting feedback from staff and pupils and using that to inform what's going to be in place for April 2021. Once we've considered all the feedback, we'll draft an updated RSE policy for April, which will set out our curriculum. And then we'll post a policy on our website and you can send an email letting us know your feedback. Thank you for your time on this. Any feedback is greatly received and we really do value your opinions. Thank you.